Hello, my name is Devin Easterlin, and this is another edition of Landlord's Corner. Today I'm talking a little bit about the laws and regulations that govern the landlord-tenant relationship. The first point that I'd like to make is just stressing the importance of understanding these laws, how they operate, how they're enforced, so that as a landlord you can make sure that you're in compliance. It can be very expensive. There can be a lot of liability associated if you don't follow these rules, especially if you're going to self-manage, if you're going to not hire a professional property management company. Then you really need to make sure that you take the time to educate yourself and stay abreast of any changes. These laws change quite often, especially on a state and city level. So you want to make sure that you are following that, you're keeping up with it, you're changing your lease agreements, you're changing your policies to coincide with these changes. So I would take this in three levels. I would start at the federal level, get a clear understanding of what laws and rules govern the landlord-tenant relationship on a federal level. The first two that come to mind would be fair housing and equal protection. You got to make sure that you understand protected classes, you understand reasonable accommodations associated with people with disabilities. That's going to be one of those where if you run afoul of those, you could find yourself in really hot water. So you want to make sure you're completely have a good understanding for that. A good resource for that is just going to the HUD website and reading about that. You can also take fair housing classes, which will give you a good overview and make sure you're in compliance. The next level will be the state level. So here in Washington State, it's the Revised Code of Washington, the RCW, and you can go to that website, that state website, and it will spell out all of the rules associated with the landlord-tenant relationship, the duties that the landlord has, and the duties that the tenant has. It's very detailed and really can serve as a good guide to make sure that you understand what's going on and who's responsible for what. You might actually find that it's a little too detailed and there is so much information, it's kind of hard to digest. I would just say break it into bites, understand the move-in, move-out process, understand how security deposits need to be handled, the trust account aspects of that, and really just get a general overview. And then if you ever have questions, you can go back to that to get those questions answered. The third thing is to familiarize yourself with any city requirements. So landlord-tenant rules vary from city to city. So that's one that you want to make sure that you understand and you're keeping up with, because those change fairly regularly. So for example, in the city of Seattle, they have additional protected classes that aren't specifically outlined in the federal fair housing statute. So if you didn't know that and you discriminated based on one of those classes, you could find yourself in a litigious and you could be fined for that. So you want to make sure that you're understanding the city, the state, and the federal regulations associated with the landlord-tenant relationship. Again, if you have any questions on this from a property management side, I'm happy to answer what I can. My name is Devin Easterlin. Thank you so much for your time. Take care.